Plaintiff Stephanie Gooch and her parents Charmaine and Stephen say after Stephanie moved in with the defendant, she lost her job. So Charmaine and Stephen stepped in to help with her finances. Stephanie rented an apartment with the defendant, but since she's moved out, the defendant has refused to return her security deposit. Defendant Jennifer Holmes says despite the fact that Stephanie is 20 years old, she acts like a teenager. Jennifer says while they were living together, Stephanie sat in her room all day smoking marijuana, and she's countersuing for cable bills, damaged and stolen property.
Start with you.
Your Honor, my husband and I are here today because we feel the defendant has taken advantage of my daughter Stephanie and us during an unfortunate financial situation. And we are not very happy about that. My daughter Stephanie moved to the city of Chicago in the summer of '09. She graduated the Aveda Institute.
What are you speaking for?
Go right ahead.
Okay, I'm sorry, Your Honor. I moved in with Jennifer. The morning that I signed my lease, I had lost my job. My parents were helping me financially with rent and everything. I had the option to go back to Indiana, stay with them. We didn't want to hurt Jennifer financially. We were friends at the time. So we were going to stick it out until I got a new job.
What was the agreement on rent, security deposit, and what did happen?
Halves for everything. For utilities and rent, we split it evenly. And actually, she didn't ask me for a security deposit when I signed my lease. I met my landlord.
Do you have the lease today?
Yes.
That you signed?
Yes.
Okay. How much of a security deposit did you put down?
$450.
All right. And security deposit was $900, so you paid half, and you gave the half to her. Why didn't you write it directly to the landlord?
That $900 that is showing on that was from Jennifer and her original roommate, Natalie.
At the time you moved in, how many people were moving in?
It was just me. I was taking over the last month of her sister's rent, and then we decided to sign a lease for a year together.
So it was the two of you all?
Yes.
So you were paying her for the monies that she had already put up to the landlord?
Yeah, that was already there.
Okay.
I originally was told that it was supposed to go back to her sister, so her sister could get her security deposit
But instead
back.
you all wrote the check to her?
Because she was my friend at the time, and I trusted her.
You give me your side.
Okay, so this entire experience has been quite the learning experience. I will never again live with a teenager. This started,
20
like
years
she
old.
said, we met.
You don't act like she's 20. I'm with you. She acts like a teenager, or
Yes.
her mother treats her like a teenager. Go ahead.
Her and I were the only two on the lease. So after day she signs the lease, she loses her job, and everything just is crap after that. She's locking herself in her room. She's smoking weed all day. She's not doing anything. Her parents are calling me, asking me if Stephanie is looking for a job, and I'm having to lie to her parents. She's just sitting there.
Security deposit. Tell me about that.
The security deposit was when you sign a lease, you put down a security
Correct.
deposit. Okay,
And
so that 900 was my 900 that I rolled into the lease. So they didn't have the money right off the bat. I asked Stephanie whether she told her parents or not that
you received $450 from her.
Stephanie.
Gotcha. Now,
paying me back for what I already put
when
forward.
did she move? Did you all both move?
No, I still am in that
You
apartment.
still live there?
Yes.
All right. And how long ago did she move?
She left about the end of February.
And she gave you proper notice?
Yeah, it was kind of like a mutual
Okay,
thing.
why don't you think she would be entitled to her security deposit?
It's not that she's not entitled to it, but I just don't see.
Did you all go over the property and determine
No.
that whether she had caused any
No, I have
disrepair?
pictures of damages that were left to her room.
Okay, did her parents call about doing a walkthrough?
Stalker called the landlord, but no one did a
Stalker?
walkthrough.
Who is Stalker?
The landlord called me and he's like, who is this crazy Charmaine person calling me every 5 seconds? Then he's getting mad at me because she's calling him. So he's telling me, he told me she abandoned the lease. He wanted to take her to court to sue her for the rest of the lease. And I said, no, I don't want to go to court. So where am I at now? Court.
Okay. Ma'am, she says the landlord referred to you as a stalker, said you were calling every day.
I called him the day that Stephanie told me that there was a problem getting back the security deposit. So I called him. I asked him, I said, Mike, I said, what do we need to do? I said, Stephanie's going to be moving out. He said, yes, that's fine. He goes, I don't blame her. He said, Jennifer has had several roommates and she's had problems with them. I'm not surprised Stephanie's moving out. So what do we need to do? I said, I need to get her off the lease and I need my security deposit back. He goes, what security deposit? I said, the security deposit that we gave to Stephanie to give to Jennifer to give to you. And he's like, Charmaine, he goes, I never got a security deposit from Jennifer. He goes, you will have to take up that with her since you made out the check to her. I said, okay, fine. I spoke to him one time.
So he said the security deposit was never paid.
That's because I paid it originally.
When did you pay it?
The security deposit,
When
the
did you
900.
pay it?
A year
The security
before that.
deposit. When did you pay
A
it?
year before that.
Show me evidence that you paid the $900 deposit for the extension. This. Do you have that?
I don't have the
Didn't
evidence
think
for
so.
that, no.
Now, what gas bill does she owe you for?
The last month that I was still on the lease, I wasn't living with her because the arrangements were they were terrible at the time.
What gas bills are you suing her for?
For the month of January and February.
You have the total amounts?
I've got the bills and yes.
Ma'am, did you pay your share of the gas bill in January and February?
I did not know.
All right. And your counterclaim is for $256 for cable bills, damaged property, and stolen property. How so?
Well, the damaged property would be the vacuum that I had just bought that she had a party, vacuumed up glass, then vacuumed up bong water, used Carpet Fresh to cover up the bong water, then vacuumed over that.
You weren't at that party?
I was not at the party.
How do you
no.
know she did all that then?
Because she
I'm sorry,
admitted.
you were there that night. What it was is it was the powder, the carpet freshener powder.
How much
I
you asking
vacuumed it.
for this?
It was $50.
All right. You sounds like you did a little something that might be worth $50.
Well, no, sir. No, I'm sorry, Your Honor. I cleaned the apartment. My friends were spilling stuff all over the place,
Your
and
friend.
it didn't.
Your
Okay.
friend. Your cable
Okay.
bill, that's enough, ma'am. Your cable bill and your stolen property. How does she owe you for that?
The cable bill was the same thing. She owed me for the cable and electric. I owed them for the gas. So at this point, I was so done talking to these people on the phone. Yes, I did not pay the gas bill. So in turn, I never got money for the cable bill.
What months?
It was for January, February.
You have those bills?
Yes.
Did you pay January and February cable?
Both of the gas bills were more expensive than the cable bills, so she owed me difference, and I never got the check for those.
Stolen property. How does she owe you for stolen property, ma'am?
That would be right around the time I asked her for where one of my DVDs were. And she said, was on somewhere, vacation, told me, I don't know, maybe it's in my room, I can't find it. So as I'm going into a room looking for one DVD, I've never been in a room before, never touched anything in there. I'm finding all of these DVDs shoved behind CD cases. Whether she's planning on taking them or not asking me to borrow them, all of them are scratched beyond recognition. They're not working because I put them back in the case and she's just jamming them
lady?
everywhere.
Yes, actually the DVD that she accused me of stealing was her Twilight DVD. She was on me about it for about 3 weeks.
And she kept asking you for it, you say?
She was very consistent about getting her Twilight DVD
All right,
back.
so that means
Fan.
that you were withholding it.
Defendant Jennifer Holmes rented an apartment with the plaintiff, and she claims the plaintiff sat in her room all day smoking pot.
I will grant your judgment, ma'am. First of all, $784. I do believe she owes you for your security deposit because I don't believe she ever paid the landlord the security deposit. Also, you provided me evidence of the gas bill, and I will grant you your judgment for the gas bill for the share she owes, and that's $105. She admits she hasn't paid. $784 is your judgment. With regard to your claim, ma'am, the cable bills, I'm inclined to believe you, and the damaged property, after saying you were there and you and everybody else had something to do with it, she slipped up and said, my friends were doing it. And those were your friends, so you're liable for your friends' actions as it relates to her property. Then the stolen property, with regard to the DVD, you admit that she continued to ask you for the one DVD, which leads me to believe that the other she's asking for was also withheld. I'll grant your judgment, $256. Everybody wins today. Isn't that great? Have a good day.